we gotta make an intro for it. Anyway, hello everyone. Welcome to the first ever Seaside Status for Cove Studios. I am the Shadow Beast. I'm also here with the Panda founder and the Wolf founder, here to give you guys the entirety of the spring seasonal updates, giving you the good, the bad, and the ugly for each entire show.
Yep.
Hello.
I am also extremely hungry, so if I ever pause up, it's because I'm trying to eat. Anywho, let's first get into, of course, what people assumed was going to be part of the spring setup of Let's Do Art with the good, the bad, the ugly. Good news! It will be coming out in the year 2022. However, here's just the bad news. It has been moved from the spring catalog for releases all the way to our fall seasonal releases, quarterly stuff. Mostly because, one, we had to do a lot of heavy rewrites due to the fact that when we originally wrote Season 2 years ago, we didn't have the continuity that we had thanks to Season 1, which painstakingly took me a long time to get done. It was a two-man job to do with just occasional episodes where it was tied into the overall plot, since Vermillo is basically Phase 1's whole Iron Man, minus the whole he'll die at the end when we make the big finale thing. Because unlike Kevin Feige, I know how to use my characters. However, due to all that sort of stuff, me and the co-writer Wolf here, we wanted to do something a little bit different that we'll be going over when it's time for the release party of episode 0, which will be coming out during, I would say, either late May to set up what we're going to do in the fall, or it's going to be during August in the middle of the month itself. It's all kind of up to 2 to 3 things since we've had a few technical difficulties the last couple of weeks. But speaking of just small difficulties, here is the ugly bit. Wolf, do you want to do this bit or no?
Can you? I don't I have no notes, so.
Oh, okay. So the ugly bit is probably going to be for everyone's just going to be like, you guys should be one of those studios that does what Netflix does, releases everything in one foul swoop, and then I'm just thinking to myself, Disenchantment, anything involving to do with certain animes they've been releasing recently, and I don't know how many shows that they just conveniently make into just parts 1 through 4 if they just only cancel it after part 2. The reason I'm stating this is because we're only going to be doing the first 7 out of a 14-episode season. And there are reasons for this. Reason the first. As we are currently trying to get better at what we're doing, this also means we have to literally understand what it means to have a better pace for what we want to do overall. That means not doing what the other studios want to do. We have to do stuff that's better for ourselves so we can fully get into our apex, go into everything with our best materials after we do just kind of like a slow build-up process. You get the first couple episodes that will be sort of like our faster pace, where it's just going to be maybe a handful of minutes in like the 10s to 15s. And then afterwards, we're going to go into long, in-depth scripts from episodes 8 to 14. Henceforth, we're trying to make sure you guys get the better quality after we give you guys the good introduction about what the problems are, the characters, the world building itself. That way, you guys aren't blindsided by our own haphazard ways of trying to rush the production. My back.
You good?
It just hurts because I'm carrying so much stress. I need a sensory deprivation tank, which leads into the segue for what we're going to talk about next. Tomorrow, since we're releasing this on the 30th, we are releasing the first of our mascot OC thing called Sonnet of the Seal. Here's the good. It is a very, very short. That way you guys can just watch it. It'll be a nice time. It'll be kind of surreally real. So what's the bad? Well, number one, we did not really want to do a whole lot because it's just a mascot short. We didn't want to have it be overbearing with too much plot. And it's kind of like each founder kind of talks about the stuff from their own perspective, where it's just one person starts off, then the next person picks up, last person finishes it off. And other than that whole thing about bad, it's just that we got copyright claimed for a copyright-free song, which is still surprising to me. I don't know how the fuck that works.
Magic.
It's so bullshit with its magic. And now for the ugly. We have no idea when the next part's gonna be released for y'all. Mostly because it's kind of like a toss-up between Panda and Wolf, who's gonna be doing the next part. And we don't know when the release date's gonna be right now because of all the stuff we got going on in the background.
Yeah, that part makes sense, yeah.
So, it's just, I don't even really know, because we just do a lot, man. We just do a lot. But, of course, everything with spring has to come into full bloom. And why am I doing a lot of segues? Well, it's because if we're going to talk about some stuff that's blooming, we got to talk about how many people assumed that this would be us releasing season 1 of Veiled Garden.
Get the fuck out of here.
Well, that too. First thing is for the good. It is not canceled. Hooray! Here's the bad, though.
Woo!
It is on indefinite hiatus.
No.
Why is it on indefinite hiatus, you're probably wondering? Well, for the first thing, we have so many stories already in the works that it kind of feels unfair to focus on a story that's not really in the main canon of what I'm doing at the moment, when there's a lot of stuff that we're doing already that's taking up a lot of our time. And these are also some of my first ever OCs, like Mama Ocean, like I told you guys in some of the cast exclusive Cove Club episodes, where I made Mama Ocean when I was roughly around like 6 or 7, where she was just originally a Fantastic Four OC I made, kind of in a very terrible part of my childhood, to then have her develop, and then the kids were made when I was like around 12 or 13, and then just became an overarching story. Those characters hold a lot more weight than what I'm doing in Phase 1 with Let's Do Art, Mosaic Inc., Lost Tides, Crescendo when we're finally releasing that, the Notorious series once we have the movie finished up. It's a big thing, but I don't have time to really get all of the necessary stuff with it, which is why that's in the indefinite hiatus. Which also goes into the ugly. We will not be releasing anything for Veiled Garden until it becomes our first big animated adventure. And that's where it's in the ugly category, because we kind of need all of you guys to start supporting us through all of our natural haunts, through Ko-fi, through Patreon. You guys can tip us now on our Twitch channel, which y'all could probably find in the description. Although, I don't know what y'all talking about, YouTube. We ain't talking about no Twitch. We ain't talking about no Twitch. Go on with yourself. Go on. I'm pretty sure that various different YouTubers are posting up some child pornography that you can actually do something about instead of talking to us about talking about a streaming platform. But I digress, y'all. You can just hit us up with some more stuff, because we want to give animators some money and get them on the map. We also want to make more stuff. Henceforth, we can't really do much more with Veiled Garden until it gets fully animated, which also means that we'll be getting some more stuff to make our voice actors and even some writers we're going to pull in for Veiled Garden go into full effect. So, if you want that to be a thing, like you want other things I want us to do, like make some shows we've already made into animated features, polish up some stuff for remasters, get some stuff on Spotify, you gotta start supporting us on our Patreon, our Ko-fi, and on our streaming platforms. That's not even really a debate, it's just a reasonable request.
Pretty much. Scratch our backs, we scratch yours.
Yeah. But also, due to how chaotic stuff in the spring is, it's time for another segue. So many segues when it comes to spring.
Yep.
I know a lot of y'all been waiting patiently. Well, not really patiently. Some of y'all trying to act like y'all never even heard about this motherfucker. But many of y'all been wondering, are we gonna finally drop episodes 4 through 6 of Lost Tides? And the answer is a sounding unanimous yes. It is coming out at the tail end of the spring. That is the good news, along with us really doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes to make sure that we have quality production later on, because we might be remastering certain episodes when we finally get the funding to do animated stuff, which means hiring on a lot of people that you might like, or hitting up some people that we like. Especially since we might be talking to one of our favorite artists of Tiny Spidey to do the animation scenes for certain stuff in Lost Tides, away from stuff that she'll probably be doing for Notorious. It's a whole big thing. But why is it also getting a bad and an ugly thing? Well, I think I'm gonna love doing Seaside Status, so it kind of gets y'all on your toes. The bad thing about Lost Tides right now for episodes 4 through 6. Once we get these things out, we're probably going to be taking a year intermission before releasing episodes 7 through 9, because we need to do some character introductions for certain important figures you'll be meeting down the line. I know that doesn't sound bad, but here's the whole big thing. Once we get the ball rolling after episode 6 is done, we're into a lot of heavy story plots. And by we, I mean me, because Wolf and Panda will tell you they do not have anything to be responsible for when it comes to Lost Tides, Mosaic Inc., Crescendo, or Notorious. They're just there to be like, alright, that's cool, now let's go back to our thing. How do we get this thing done?
As we stare at it intensely.
Yes, letters. Yes, that's some good letters. But, yeah, so that's going to be the whole thing where if you guys are wondering why that's going to take some precedence, because we're going to be trying to talk to a couple of different VAs. Like, I know I already had one of my assistants hit up a voice actress on social media by the name of Captain Lady Luck. I hope to hear from her soon so we can get the ball rolling, so we can do her character short soon. We have some other important figures coming into the play. We're introducing some more factions. The world in Lost Tides, with the whole big world of the Omniverse that is Phase 1, is very intricate and very huge. So this needs to be unraveled carefully. Very carefully. Otherwise, we'll give you guys some of the worst productions we'll ever make in our lives. Whew, so, now it's just time for the ugly. Well, not really ugly for us, probably ugly for the market. We're probably gonna be introducing a lot of big characters and a lot of big players, but that also means that we have to release something entirely huge, where once that's in play, it's gonna be all-out war to see who's gonna be in this show, who's gonna be helping be co-writers for certain episodes, if I trust you all with it, and so many other things, including making character avatars, making sure we have other things such as text boxes, original artwork in the background. When that ball gets rolling, we gonna be into some very intense shit, cause we trying to make sure we give y'all that big quality, but it's gonna be a whole rat race.
Yeah.
I got chicken in my teeth.
Random.
But man, that tiny annoyance is probably perfect for our final segue of the Seaside Status. Am I planning these things out, or am I just pulling them out of my hat? Well, joke's on you guys. When I'm not doing a live stream, I'm mostly just living in my hoodie and wearing pajama pants. So you can't even tell if I'm an actual smoke figure wearing a red coat. But why am I doing this wackiness? To prepare you guys for this final segment, which is talking about our potentially final big casting call on Casting Call Club. Oh my lord. This is a huge bitch.
A huge bitch?
A huge bitch.
Oh no.
So here's the good. The good factor of it all. You guys will be looking at potentially over 70 fucking roles to audition for. Potentially. Where you guys can audition for multiple, so you guys don't have to do a lot of stuff. You guys can drop stuff of your demo reels. It is a monster. However, we have to go into the bad, which I will hand over the bad to the head of voice acting real quick. So, Wolf.
The bad news is, Vince, I wish you told me what to say here.
Alright, fine, we're gonna be like that. Here's the bad news, guys. Thanks to this being our final casting call for Casting Call Club, we're gonna be extra selective. Where if you do not bring your A game and you do not bring anything to the table that we haven't heard before, we will outright just disregard your audition, where we won't even try to give you input, give you any critiques, because this is our final big push for stuff on the small frame before we start doing stuff with casting directors. That is the level that we're at right now, because we've worked with some of the best voice actors in the game that are up and coming. We've also worked with the worst. We've worked with people that have gone on to be in a lot of great games, great animations. Certain people we have connections with now have been in AAA titles. They've been at E3. We do stuff with some of the best. We even train the best. Henceforth, why we're being this serious and why we're being this judgmental. We have to find people that can not only mesh well with the team, but give us A-quality stuff without giving us a lot of just half-handed excuses about what they're going to do, how they're going to play it, and how they're going to go about the situations in the scripts.
I can put you in here now, because now I roughly know what you're saying. This is why I need the cue cards on my tablet here. Anyways, we also want to make sure that not only do we have a bunch of people who won't make excuses after excuses after excuses to the point where we get tired of them and get rid of them. We want to give people chances, but if they want those chances, they have to actually work with us. Give us a selection of what we haven't heard, what we have heard, because at this point we're going to be being so nitpicky. We might even go as far as double checking our work to make sure we don't have the people who can do those voices. Because it's not always having a good personality or a good set of skills. Sometimes you have to have both. And with this business, you kind of have to have both, or else you're not going to mesh well with our team. Any hoozles. When it comes to me being the head of voice acting, I have dealt with a shitty set of cards sometimes. I try to be the nicest person, but you have to be the bitch. People would have been... I have notified people multiple times. You need to make sure you get your lines in on time, people. Or at least give us a notifying reason why they're going to be late. So we can work with you in that schedule. Communication is very much key in the voice acting industry, as well as it is in any other industries or any other relationships. That's case in point. When we're trying to work with business and eventually getting up there and up there and up there to where we can actually go to casting directors and whatnot, we got to take it as serious as the big guns. We can't risk having our team getting hurt because of somebody pulling out the short end of the stick, going to act like they're high and mighty and that they're the big shot of the team, when in reality they're just another Jeb. Because I've dealt with voice actors who also gave me very boring voices when I asked for certain voices. And I have people even call me a bitch. I am a bitch when I want to be. And that is most likely a compliment. Most of the time, I don't care if you call me a bitch. If you're calling me a bitch to one of my friends, yeah, no, you're not. No one calls me a bitch except for my friends, really. I am totally not salty.
No, you're totally keeping it together. You're totally keeping it together. I can feel it.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Because I don't know where I'm going anymore, because my brain is scattered.
Oh no, you're fine. You're fine. But now it's time for, of course, the ugly. And frankly, with the ugly bit is we don't want to leave Casting Call Club. You guys have done right by us where we've gotten some of our favorite voice actors in the business so far. Borealis Vox, Smitty Smash, Catastrophe VA. Oh god, so much chicken. Paranoid Penguin. The list goes on and on about a lot of the best people that we've worked with. So many amazing artists that we've made beautiful visages with. We have done a lot of great stuff, a lot of great people, but at this stage with what we're trying to do now with the other moves that are going to be coming up later, especially since our IRL jobs are going to be supplying some stuff that we can't talk about just yet, we need to look to the future, which is why this is our last big casting call for Casting Call Club. If you miss this casting call, which will probably leave the post up roughly through the month of May, it's going to be launched during like the first official week of April, so you guys are going to have some time. But once that's done, if we don't find the necessary people, we don't mind stepping up to try and do the voices ourselves, because we've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing this since I was 9. Wolf here has been doing it for a long period of time, just studying animation, not only as an artist, but just as a cosplayer and whatnot. Panda, although they don't really voice act that much, can step in for a lot of different roles. We have people that can, and we don't want to, pull double duty, but we gotta do what's best to make the greatest moves happen so that we can get the greatest quality. Henceforth, if you miss this, that is it. There is no second chances. There is no you catch us at the last minute when we're closing the door. This is the last big shot. If you want to get with us later on, you have to make sure that you come to us during this casting call, whether it's to be an actor, whether it's to be a potential writer, whether it's to be anything. This is your final chance for just anything open to the public on just casting call. Anything after that, get through our casting directors, get through us on our website when we have the chance to, and that will be the only time. And Panda would say, did you want to add anything to it? But honestly, we're going to wait on that front for a little bit longer.
Okay.
So, with all that stuff for the Seaside Status, you're probably just wondering what's the big lineup for the spring season overall from just what we're talking about today. Well, like I've been stating before, we have Son of the Seal Part 1 coming out tomorrow. We will be having a few different nuggets coming out for you guys involving the Elysium stuff, which will be part of our fall update for you guys, because that's only set for the fall season of things. And we're also going to be talking about releasing some other stuff with Lost Tides for episodes 4, 5, and 6. But not before we also end out the spring by actually talking about one of our long-standing mini-series from Phase 1 of my stuff, which is Before the Fallen Episode 3. Where you guys are going to be finally meeting one of the other big characters for another big franchise thing we're going to be talking about roughly near the end of the 2020s, where you might have heard about this character, you might not have, but it's everyone's favorite, probably the real father of Clifford the Big Red Dog, of Oswin, the giant white-furred English sheephound. And that dog is actually so huge, it engulfs at least 4 different galaxies with just how long he is and how tall he is.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And he is so blind because of the hair in his face.
All the floof?
All the floof.
All the floof.
But you're probably wondering if they're in before the Fallen the way that they are, what does that fully entail? What is Oswin's story going to be? Well, it's not going to be a good finale from what you guys probably saw in hollow sands from when you saw him in his condition, and you're gonna find out how he ended up in that prison in the first place.
Oh no, poor baby.
So that's just at least from the lore branch of the Tales tree. I'm not going to speak for drama and supernatural. That's for Wolf and Panda to talk about if they want to have some stuff they want to release during this seasonal time, or talk about stuff involving the streaming seasonal schedules, or anything involving stuff we might be talking about for eventual merchandise, or stuff we're going to be talking about for other things involving original artworks, some competitions. That's why I'm just going to leave the last couple of minutes of the floor open to them. Otherwise, we'd be closing out.
I think the most I have to update is I do have something eventually coming out in October.
We'll save that for the fall Seaside Status.
But anything for spring, surprises. That is all. I think that's the only thing I can do. If I pull out something out of my ass thin air, yeah, there we go.
So I got nothing. So.
Not even for the stream stuff?
I mean, if we're talking stream stuff, which, yes, YouTube, we still see you. You get rid of all those other nasty people on the internet. Thank you. We're talking stream stuff. The only thing I can update you on is that Marvel Mondays is hopefully going to be, I don't want to say bigger than better, because let's be honest, it's still a work in progress, but we're coming down to the end as we speak on our Marvel Monday X-Men reactions, where X-Men will soon be done, which means we have other shows and stuff we can now watch. Hooray! So, yeah, be prepared for that. But also, I'm hoping to put on, like, at least a gaming stream once a week, but that has nothing to really do with what we really do, so ignore that part. Maybe some more, like, behind the scenes of writing and editing and stuff. But that's pretty much it.
Anything for May?
Oh, yeah, there's going to be a thing called anime.
Let me explain for those of y'all who have allergies like me. Basically, no. Anime is actually which sounds just as anime. So every year for the past, is this our second or third year doing this?
I think our
third year, right?
It's our second year, because we didn't do it 2 years ago. I know that for sure, or else I would be having a very hard time.
Okay, it's our spooky month. That's going to be the third year. Okay, so for anime, this is our second year doing it. I won't be there because my allergies, but every year toward the end of April, beginning of all throughout May, once a week, sometimes twice a week, depending on what's going on. But we host a watch and reaction stream for all you anime fans out there, where you can watch along to certain anime movies with us and react to it. Essentially, it's just that. We just call it Annie, oh my God, I cannot talk.
ANI-MAY.
I was like, I cannot talk. It's my allergies speaking to me. But yeah, just come back for that and any other stream that we do during the summer involving watch-alongs. So, yeah.
But we'll talk about the summer stuff during the summer Seaside Status. Anywho, I just finished all of my chicken.
That quickly?
Yeah, Raven really put her foot in this whole meal, bruh. We're gonna have sushi after this. Anywho.
Chicken sushi? That's a combo.
Hey man, surf and turf. Now, for all that stuff and what we probably could tell you guys, because we might have some other stuff in the wake of it. We might bring back the disaster duo before the whole spring is done. If y'all miss Yasmin and Omar, we might bring them back. We ain't gonna commit to it, because we ain't committing to those whack jobs.
They pretty much break in and force us to write them.
So, we will be having a lot of stuff set up in the spring for you guys. We will have a lot more stuff in the summer with a lot of other stuff we have in the works. Like a big show y'all probably been waiting years for. I know Dylan's been waiting years for because it's his big debut as a star. We have a lot of stuff we need to start establishing for what's going to come out in 2024 with Crescendo, aka My Greatest Shame, because its first season is awful. We have so much to offer and so much to get done that I hope you guys are just ready for the ride of just this itty bitty roll along towards what the future's going to be. Because if 2022 is just us doing the foundation blocks on our already established platform, imagine what this time next year is going to be delivering for you guys as a whole. It's all just going to be crazy. But for this Seaside Status, the alarm's going to be turning off for y'all all over everything involving your social medias, your whole video sharing platforms, and all your stuff involving streaming services. Where I've been the Shadow Beast founder with Panda and Wolf, and we will potentially see you guys all together for the summer Seaside update, roughly in, we're gonna probably do it earlier this time and do it at like the tail end of May. I don't know. We don't see.
That would actually be a good idea, just stating.
We might. We're not gonna commit, because you don't see a ring on a, wait, where'd this ring come from?